Welcome to Glitched, I'm Francisco Lozano, and this is your weekly wrap-up. This week's wrap-up is going to be a quick one. Thanks, exams. Let's go. Now, after I just dissed academia, we're going to talk about a new kind of learning. Minecraft has already taken over the world, and to add to their list of feats, they've added a new feature into their educational edition of the game. First off, who knew Minecraft had an educational edition? Back in my day, we drew with KidPix or Microsoft Paint while trying to avoid classwork. Sometimes these reads make me feel so old. But back to the story. The Code Builder feature is now available in beta for the edition. The tool allows users to interact with an in-game robot via learn-to-code platforms like MakeCode, Scratch, and Tinker. Basically, these platforms can be used to program the actions the robot will do in-game. But interacting and building code around this little robot friend is not the full extent of the feature. Those who already know other coding languages like JavaScript can code the game directly without having to interact with Mr. Robot. The educational edition of the game is available for any institute of learning, plus students and teachers. It's honestly really cool to see a mainstream game be used as a learning tool and not just a platform for entertainment. Good for you, Minecraft. And since I already had an old person mini moment earlier, we're going to talk about some really old games. For the first time in its history, the Video Games Museum, Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, has text adventure games in its halls. Text-based adventure games represent some of the earliest commercially available computer games on the market, and one of the pioneering games of the genre, Adventureland, has finally found a place in the gaming museum. The game itself comes from a donation made by its own programmer and designer, Scott Adams, who is seen as a pioneering force in the gaming world. The museum also hosts the World Video Game Hall of Fame. The Strong Museum has the largest public collection of video and electronic games available to view in the United States. Whether or not you've ever seen a text-based adventure game, this is definitely a cool addition to the museum I really want to visit. Moving on from the past to the future, the rumor mill is churning. And about what else? Pokemon Stars. Since the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon in November of last year, rumors and speculations have been flying about the possibility of a third game in the Generations grouping being made for the Nintendo Switch. Many rumors and speculations have pointed to this game being called Pokemon Stars or Eclipse. And just this week, Japanese Pokemon Center added some interesting new merchandise to their stores. The line looks to be inspired by Cosmog, a key Pokemon in the handheld version of the game, and is called Look Upon the Stars. The merchandise itself is all very pretty, featuring a host of Starry Night sky patterns and a new Cosmog plush. Plus, if you're looking to cosplay Lily anytime soon, they are also releasing a bag that is a pretty close replica of the one she uses to hide the cute little Cosmog during the game. I'll admit, a glittery bit of merch is still a bit of a stretch as an indication of a whole new game, but come on, we're trying here. Now, what is an episode without some good old-fashioned Nintendo cease and desist action? To the surprise of no one, the fan-made 2D version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been taken down thanks to a copyright claim made by Nintendo. Breath of the NES was inspired by a 2D test of the original title that was shown at this year's Game Developers Conference. The developer behind the free fan game, Winter Drake, received a complaint from Nintendo's attorney over the weekend. The fan developer has taken down the game but has vowed that, quote, the project will come back bigger and better than ever. And after being advised to remove the Nintendo branded content from the game, he stated that the next release will be a lot bigger than just a simple name change. Nintendo is a stickler for copyright strikes, which is no secret among the gaming community. Just last September, over 550 fan-made games got shut down by the developer in a frenzy of strikes. By now, everyone should know, don't mess with Nintendo. If you want to make a game that pays homage to the work they've done, don't use their trademarked or copyrighted assets. Look at a game like Undertale. It pulls in a lot for its overall feel and design from Earthbound, but it's a completely different game, and a widely praised one at that. You can honestly and obviously do whatever you want, but in the end, just try to think about what you're making and how you want it to exist in the long run. And to finish it out, we of course have some more news about Nintendo. The newly released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the fastest selling game in its franchise. On launch day alone, the game sold more than 459,000 copies in the US. Right now, about half of Switch owners have already purchased the game. The announcement of this feat came directly from Nintendo, who announced that the new game had beaten out the previous record holder, Mario Kart Wii. Right now the Switch is looking pretty good even though it still only has a handful of games available to it. The console still looks like it's doing a lot better than its predecessor ever did, and it's only been 2 months. Which Nintendo news segment are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments down below. Just a heads up, we may be a bit sporadic when it comes to the release schedule in the coming weeks. We are based out of a university's TV station and it's the end of the semester, so cut me a break. Anyway, remember you can like and subscribe to stay up to date on all your gaming and tech news. This was Glitched, and I'll see you next time. Welcome to Glotched. I'm Francisca Lozada, and this is your weekly wrap-up.